Hello all, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me, Mikey again. And I'm going to be doing a regroom by myself today. So I'm going to show you how I do it on my own without any assistance. So first things first, I have cleaned off my scalp, I've cleaned the system. So now I have to cut the hair on my patch as short as I can to be able to give me a good stick. So I do this by using a pair of clippers. I have a guideline that's already there. You can already tell exactly where my patch is. So I use the clippers in like a downwards motion and sometimes an upwards, as you can see. But just to get to that edge and to try make sure that I don't cross it. So there's a better example. You can see I just go right to that edge, just to what I can see in front of me. And then I hold down the hair, and it kind of gives me that guide to be able to get as close as I can without actually cutting the hair I don't want to cut. And the front, of course, and I can go further back, but I try not to go all the way back because the last thing you want is to cut out a big old chunk of hair at the back. I use a mirror to be able to do that, and it is a little bit touch and go. It's a little bit difficult to figure out how to move your hand in the correct motion in reverse, if that makes sense, by looking at it in the mirror. But it's the same principle for the back. I will just, with the edge of the clipper, go towards the line that's already there. I hope that makes sense. And then I swap hands and I do it the other way around. Again, I'm just trying to figure out what actual direction my hand needs to be going in. So this is all very trial and error. This has been trial and error for a good few years now, and this is how I've come to be able to do it. So now we need to mark up where my system goes. So I do this by, if I raise my eyebrows and create my wrinkles on my forehead, then that gives me a guide of where I want it. And I know the shape of my system at the front, and I know that this method works for me by going along my wrinkle line. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it trusts the process. And some people may think it's too far down, but that's where I like my system. So I've already taped up my system at this point. So at this point now, I'm going to put tape on my skin. And this is a new method that I've done recently because I was so sick of having to clean out glue from my lace. If anyone uses glue on your lace, whether it's white glue or clear glue, it is just a nightmare to get out. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to do the majority of my systems now, attach it mostly by tape. And then the rest, I will leave just a very small amount at the very front to do glue. And I've done this a few times now, and I have to say it is such an easy cleanup, so much easier, and it just makes more sense. I think it's going to make the system last longer, but of course we'll come back to that when we find out. So I've cut the tape into like almost a triangular shape, so I'd never do straight lines when I'm cutting tape to play it on the system or on my head. I find that this is just the easiest way to get rounded edges when you are attaching your tape. It just makes the most sense to me. So I overlap the tape over each other just above that white line. So there's like about a centimetre above that white line where I haven't put tape. And I'll give you a better view of that later. So this is how I get the actual system on. So I use the central point that I did first, and I use that central point to guide where I want the centre of my system to go. So as you can see, I'm making sure that that lace at the very front touches where that first white mark is that I made, so that I know that the front, that's the exact position I want it in. And then I kind of maneuver the rest of the lace so that it's all laying flat. But it kind of works, if you get that central point, then you're able to maneuver the rest into the correct position. And this doesn't always work. Full disclosure, this doesn't always work for me. Sometimes I get it wrong. and then I get really frustrated with myself. But this was actually a very good example of when it goes right, which is fantastic, and that's what we like. So now we've got the front attached. I then remove all of the tape that I've previously put on, so all of the backing of the tape, sorry, that I've previously put on the back of the system. And as you can see in that corner, I've actually got some hair underneath, which really bugs me. But like I say, it's all trial and error and sometimes mistakes happen. But it's not the end of the world, and I'm not taking the system off now to fix it. We'll just have to live with it. So now what I'm doing, because the very front isn't attached, because the tape only got to within a centimetre of the front, I pull all the front back with a crocodile clip. I tell you, if you've ever used a crocodile clip, they're amazing. They manage all of that hair in one. Incredible. So I give you a little close up here. So you can see there's that gap there between the white dots, which is my guide, and the actual tape. So where it's attached to my scalp, that's attached by the tape. And now I do that very front bit in just glue. So what I do, I wipe them marks off, because the last thing you want is to put glue over the top of them, because it will not go. And it shows. And it's one of my bugbears when it comes to hair systems, me doing my hair systems. So I use the Walker Tape Ultra Hold Glue, and it's just one layer of one thin coat. The reason that I remove the guides and I know exactly where it goes is because I've been doing this a long time, so I know how far it is. So once that's dried, I then use a comb to push down the lace into the glue, in the kind of motion that I'm showing. I'm trying to keep my hands out the way so you can see, and I know it's a bit of a distance, but that's how I do it. And try and keep the hair up, just in case the glue's overlapped a little bit, because, it's horrible when you get the actual hair stuck in the glue and you're trying to get it out, and you've got to use alcohol. It's just, rubbing alcohol, sorry, and it's just a bit of a nightmare at times. So I go all around that front. I start in the middle, and then I work my way around the sides of pushing that lace into the glue with the comb. I don't use my finger, because then it smudges it all together, and it's just not a good look. So I find that the comb is the most efficient way to do it. And then I push it all down with the comb again on top. Then I give it a little brush through. And this is very 2000s hairdo right now. Which a lot of people have said that actually they like the look of it on me. I put some leave-in conditioner in, because I'm going to blow dry it now. So you're getting the full works today from start to finish of how I do this. I start with my fringe, because if you've followed me or you've watched my videos, you know I have my big spiky fringe and I love it. A lot of people have said to me before, why don't you have it down? And I was like, do you know, I spent years hiding my hair with hair extensions, my receding hair, sorry, and the only style I could have was it down. So now that I've got the systems, and because the systems are so versatile and you can have any style you want, I'm like, I want it spiky, I want it up, I want it off my face. And that's what I absolutely love about these systems. This particular system is my LaVivid system. It's a custom-made system, and they sent it to me to review, and it's just such a gorgeous system. I've done multiple videos about their systems, and they're just incredible. There is a link in my bio as to where you can purchase one. So then I dry it all off. Systems do not take that long to dry. I know it's slightly dry now because I've been faffing around trying to get it on for a while, so it will have dried a bit anyway. But in general, I find they don't take too long to dry. And then product. I use product, which is like a waxy kind of product. I don't use sprays anymore. I find that they dry out the hair, and it's just... This is all with regards to longevity of the system. You want it to last as long as possible, so I try and use soft products that don't make your hair solid, because I find that's what damages them and dries them out. There you go. And as you can see, I'm doing the back a little bit. I find the back, the messier the better. Because to me, the back is the biggest giveaway of systems at times. And there we have it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for LaVivid for providing the hair system. It's incredible. And thank you for watching.